Grand Sunday, the 28th of June. I am Anne, and I'd like to take a moment to thank the Most High God, God Source Energy, the Spirit Team, and the universe for all the abundance that we are gifted. I'm in gratitude. I was thinking about, first I just wanted to say I've been outside most of the afternoon. It's a hot day, but it was nice working out there. And so I just came back in a little bit ago. I wanted to talk about some of the lighter things in my life. Like I mentioned, being a child and the blizzards and the snow forts and how we'd be able to crawl up on top of them and stand up on them. And that was very special. And then sometime after I started kindergarten, we moved into that little town, and I started to go to school there. Well, I was going to school there before, just being bused to the school. And I remember playing a lot by myself, alone, in my yard. We had a rather large yard. And I would play underneath the picnic table, and I would collect flowers and weeds and seeds off the weeds. And I'd mix up mud, and I'd sit there and I'd be the baker, and the seats of the picnic table would be my ovens, and that's where I'd bake my pies and my cakes and my cookies and stuff like that. So that was a pleasant memory, but I don't really remember having friends come over to my house then. And then by third grade, we moved into the city, and I started to go to school in the city. And that was different, a lot more people. And I walked to school even in the winter, and I usually would walk with a brother. And in the summer it was great because we passed a beverage processing. They made soda. So on really hot days, we would walk by and the doors would be open, and we were allowed to go in, and any bottle that tipped while it was being processed, they couldn't use. So we'd be able to drink, right off the processor, orange soda or Dr. Pepper or just these different beverages. And it was so fun. That was a pretty cool memory. So that was another thing. I can remember one time we were walking to, it was winter, and we were walking to this area that had this really, really steep hill. And I had a round sled made of heavy duty plastic, and it tipped and my head bounced like halfway down that mountain. What seemed like a mountain. It wasn't a mountain, but it was a very, very steep hill. And wow, I got to the bottom of that and I was just out of it. So I'm sure I have some spinal issues. I mean, they say whatever injuries you take in as you're growing up, you're going to experience them later on in life. So that was another thing. And then I've had some experiences like in junior high. I remember going to a slumber party at a friend's house. There was a group of girls there. And there was one girl who was known for her gifts. She was very intuitive. She had quite a few different gifts. Anyway, we did this thing where somebody laid down on the floor and she took that person's head, and I was on her left, and there was somebody at the feet, and then there was somebody at the right side of this body, and she rolled the head back and forth, and she said it was a dark, stormy night. And I had two fingers like under this body, and I said it was a dark, stormy night, and everybody repeated that. And then she went on with the story, and we all repeated it, and then she went again. By the time she got done, that girl was above our heads, as light as a feather. And I told that to my sister, and she said that never happened. And I said, that's okay. I was there. I know what I experienced. It's all right. And I've had other experiences too in my life, and it seems like when I share them, people are just like non-believers. Anyway, that's my story for today. Thanks. Bye.